Hey everyone, and welcome. We're diving deep today into Leef met ALS.
Leef met ALS.
Yeah, it's this Dutch website, but it's kind of become like a global hub for, well, everything ALS.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're looking at like a snapshot of it from October 20th, 2024.
It's really interesting how much they've got packed in there, like news and research updates and personal stories. There's even music.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
You really get a feel for like the whole ALS community, what they're thinking, what they're worried about.
Yeah.
You know, the human side of it all.
Yeah.
It's not just all clinical and stuff.
Right. And some of the headlines, I gotta say, really caught my eye. Like there's one about, get this, ALS patients recovering.
Recovering?
Yeah, like actually recovering.
Wow.
And then there's this whole brain implant race going on between Elon Musk and Synchron.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I saw that one.
And then they even have AI on the website that answers questions.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It's amazing how they've managed to like balance all the cutting edge science stuff with like the real life impact of an ALS diagnosis.
Right. And even though it's a Dutch platform, they're reaching people all over the globe, right?
Yeah, it seems like it. They have content in a bunch of languages, and they work with experts from all over.
Makes sense. I mean, ALS is a global thing.
For sure.
And Leef met ALS seems to be all about, like, raising awareness, you know?
Absolutely. And providing support, not just for patients, but their families, too.
Yeah, you can really see that in how the website is set up. Like, you've got sections for news and expert insights, research updates.
All the important stuff.
But then you also have these personal blogs and inspirational stories and, like we said, even a space for music.
It's like woven right into the website, that sense of community.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Oh, and one thing that really stood out to me was this, it's called Rune Instant Answer.
Rune Instant Answer.
Yeah, it's this AI-powered thing that gives you quick answers to questions right there on the site.
Oh, that's neat.
It's like having a 24/7 information desk, but just for ALS. You know?
It's really smart.
Yeah, and it totally fits with their whole mission of empowering patients. I saw that phrase all over the website. Acceptance of the diagnosis without accepting the prognosis.
I love that.
Yeah, it's powerful.
It encourages people to like really be involved in their own care.
Exactly. Yeah, and to build a good care team. And they've got a ton of practical advice too, like how to manage symptoms and even how to deal with financial and legal issues.
Wow, they really cover everything.
Yeah, they try to.
So, about those headlines.
Oh, yeah, the headlines, some of them were pretty attention-grabbing.
Definitely.
Okay, so this first one, it's in Dutch, obviously. It says, Geneesmiddel rozenballen in Japan voor ALS goedgekeurd.
Okay, and that translates to?
Drug rozenballen, approved in Japan for ALS.
Interesting.
Yeah, so this rozenballen, or mecobalamin, it's actually a form of vitamin B12, and they're studying it for its potential neuroprotective effects, so basically protecting nerve cells. And the fact that it's been approved in Japan, I mean, that suggests there's some good data behind it. You know?
Yeah, it shows that they're finding some promising new treatments.
Exactly. Okay, but now this next headline, this one really threw me for a loop. It says, Mysterious ALS Phenomenon, Steeds meer mensen herstellen.
Okay, break that down for me.
Okay, so it means mysterious ALS phenomenon. More and more people are recovering.
Recovering? But isn't ALS supposed to be, well...
progressive and incurable.
Yeah.
That's what we usually think, right? But this headline, it really challenges that. Like, what's causing these recoveries? Is it a new treatment or, I don't know, something else entirely?
I don't know. That's a good question.
The website doesn't really go into details, but it presents it as something that we need to look into more.
Right, like there's more to the story.
Yeah, like maybe our understanding of ALS is changing, you know?
That's an interesting thought.
And it gives people hope, right? Like even with the diagnosis like this, maybe there are more possibilities than we thought.
It's like that theme of hope and empowerment that they have throughout the website.
Exactly. Okay, ready for another headline? This one is, Synchron and Elon Musk strijden om hersenimplantaat for ALS.
That sounds intense. What does it mean?
Synchron and Elon Musk battle for brain implant for ALS.
Oh, wow. So we're talking about brain-computer interfaces.
BCIs, yeah, exactly. Imagine, like, composing an email or controlling your smart home just by thinking about it.
That's wild.
That's the potential of BCIs. And both Synchron and Elon Musk's company, Neuralink, they're both racing to develop this technology for people with ALS.
Oh, it's a real race, huh?
Yeah. And the idea is to let people with severe paralysis communicate and control things just with their thoughts.
Wow, that's incredible. And is it working?
Well, it's still early days, but research is moving fast.
That's good to hear.
And we all know about Neuralink and their ambitious plans, but Synchron, they've actually already implanted their BCI device in a patient with ALS.
Oh, wow. Really? That's amazing.
And their approach is supposed to be less invasive, which is good.
Definitely, yeah. Less risk is always a good thing.
So having two big players in this space, it's got to be driving innovation, right?
Oh, absolutely. More research is always good news.
Especially for people who are waiting for new treatments.
Right, exactly.
Okay, one more headline for you. This one's about something a little less futuristic.
Okay, bring it on.
It says, Primacy blijft ALS ziekteprogressie vertieren.
What's that all about?
It means primacy continues to slow ALS disease progression. So primacy, it's this combination therapy, and they're seeing good results with it in terms of slowing down how the disease progresses.
So it's not a cure, but...
No, but it buys people time, right?
That's huge.
Even slowing things down can have a big impact on someone's quality of life.
It can mean months or even years more with their loved ones.
Exactly, and more chances to, actually live their lives.
And for researchers, it gives them valuable information to keep working towards better treatments.
For sure. Looking at all these headlines, it's a lot to take in. It's kind of overwhelming.
It is, yeah.
But it also makes me feel hopeful in a way,
I know what you mean. Like, there's so much happening in the world of ALS right now.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of research, new treatments, even these crazy brain implants. It's a lot.
And Leef Met ALS does a great job of capturing that feeling, I think. That sense of urgency, but also that sense of possibility.
It's like they don't shy away from how tough ALS is, but they also highlight how resilient the community is.
They don't just focus on the bad stuff, they show the strength and determination too.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And I'm really curious to try out this AI chatbot Rune Instant Answer.
Oh yeah, me too. Let's see if it really lives up to the hype.
Right. We can see how well it handles some of these complex questions. But first, I want to dive a little deeper into some of these headlines. I'm particularly fascinated by those mysterious ALS recoveries.
Yeah, that one was really intriguing.
And that whole brain implant race. I mean, that's like straight out of science fiction, right?
Totally.
So let's explore those a bit more. And hey, maybe we can even ask Rune about them and see what it says.
Sounds like a plan.
Awesome. We'll be right back after a quick break.
Welcome back. Ready to dig into some of these headlines from Leef Met ALS.
Oh, absolutely. Especially that one about the ALS patients recovering.
Yeah, the mysterious ALS phenomenon. More and more people are recovering.
Mysterious ALS phenomenon. Steeds meer mensen herstellen.
Right. It sounds like something out of a medical mystery novel.
It totally does. The article talks about this trend, like more and more people who've been diagnosed with ALS are actually seeing their symptoms reverse.
Like they're getting better.
Yeah, not just like a little improvement, but actual regaining of function.
That's incredible. But how is that even possible?
I know, right? It raises so many questions.
Like, what's causing it?
Exactly. Is it a certain treatment or some kind of lifestyle change or what?
The article doesn't really say.
No, it's more like a teaser, A little clue, but not the whole explanation.
Still, the fact that they're even reporting on it is pretty amazing.
I know. It makes you rethink everything you thought you knew about ALS.
It's like Leef Met ALS is pushing us to see things in a new way. Like there might be possibilities we haven't even thought of yet.
And for people listening, a headline like that has to give them hope.
Oh, absolutely.
Speaking of hope and empowerment, let's talk about that AI chatbot, Rune Instant Answer.
Oh, yeah. The 24/7 ALS expert.
Yeah, exactly. It's supposed to give you answers to any question you have about ALS right there on the website.
It sounds like a pretty amazing resource, especially for people who maybe don't have easy access to specialists or support groups.
Right. No matter where you are, you can get information and support whenever you need it.
Okay. I'm ready to put Rune to the test.
Me too. But before we do that, I want to circle back to that headline about the brain implant race. Synchron and Elon Musk strijden om hersenimplantaat for ALS.
Synchron and Elon Musk battle for brain implant for ALS. That's a mouthful.
It is. Now, I know about Elon Musk and Neuralink, but this Synchron company, that's new to me.
Yeah, they're both working on brain-computer interfaces, but they have different approaches, it seems.
The article mentioned that Synchron has actually already implanted their device in an ALS patient.
Really? Wow, that's huge.
I know, and they're supposedly less invasive than Neuralink, which is good.
Yeah, less risky for sure.
So tell me, how do these BCIs actually work?
Okay, so imagine this. You can't speak, you can't move, but you can still think.
Okay, I'm with you.
With a BCI, those thoughts can be turned into actions. The device is implanted in your brain, and it picks up on your neural signals, the electrical activity.
Okay, I think I get it.
And then it translates those signals into commands. So you could control a computer, a wheelchair, even a prosthetic limb, just by thinking about it.
So you're basically bypassing the damaged nervous system.
Exactly. Creating a direct link between the brain and the outside world.
Wow, that is incredible. It's mind-blowing, actually.
The technology is still being developed, but it has the potential to really change things for people with ALS.
Give them back some control.
Independence, yeah. The things they might have thought they'd lost forever.
It makes you wonder what other amazing things they'll come up with in the future.
The possibilities are exciting, that's for sure. But for now, let's come back to that headline about Prime C slowing down ALS progression. Prime C blijft ALS ziekte progressie vertragen.
Right. It's not a cure, but it seems to be making a difference.
Even just slowing things down can have a huge impact on someone's life.
More time with their families, more time to do the things they love.
Exactly. And it gives researchers more time to find even better treatments.
Leef Met ALS does a great job of balancing all these things, the hopeful developments, but also the realities of living with ALS.
Practical advice, support for patients and families.
Yeah, it's all about finding a sense of community, of empowerment, even in the face of adversity.
Well said. So, ready to see what Rune can do?
Let's do it! So, we've been playing around with Rune for a bit now, and I'm pretty impressed, I gotta say.
Yeah, it's amazing how it can pull up all this information from Leef Met ALS and, explain it so clearly.
Right. I asked it a ton of questions, about basic ALS symptoms and then some harder stuff about clinical trials and those brain implants.
And I did too.
Honestly, it did really well, even with the tough questions.
That's great.
And it's it understands how much you already know. It doesn't just throw a bunch of jargon at you unless you asked for it.
That's important.
Yeah, it felt more like I was talking to a real person than a computer.
Like a conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can definitely see how helpful this would be for someone who's maybe newly diagnosed, or even just someone who wants to learn more about ALS.
It's a great example of how AI can be used in healthcare. It's not replacing doctors, but it can definitely help people get the information they need.
For sure. And it makes you wonder what else AI could do in the future to help people with ALS.
Right. What if you could get a personalized treatment plan based on your genes? Or AI-powered devices that anticipate your needs.
Oh, wow. That's amazing to think about.
Or even AI-run support groups where people can connect with others from all over the world.
That would be incredible.
There are so many possibilities.
Okay, but before we get too carried away with the future, I want to come back to something from Leef Met ALS that really stuck with me.
What's that?
It's that phrase, acceptance of the diagnosis without accepting the prognosis.
Oh, yeah. That's powerful.
It really speaks to the strength of the ALS community, don't you think?
Absolutely. Acknowledging the challenges but not giving up hope.
Exactly. And that's where the website's focus on research and new developments is so important. It gives people hope that things are changing, that progress is being made.
And that hope is what keeps everything moving forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fundraising, the clinical trials, all of it.
So, to everyone listening, I think Leef Met ALS is a great example of how a community can come together to support each other, raise awareness, and fight for a cure, even when things are tough.
It's a reminder that even with a difficult diagnosis, there's still room for hope, resilience, and determination.
And that goes beyond just ALS, It's about the human spirit.
Well said.
So that wraps up our deep dive into Leef Met ALS. I really encourage everyone to check out the website, see all the amazing things they're doing.
It's a fantastic resource.
And as you're exploring, think about this. The website highlights some very specific new treatments and devices like the ones we talked about. What does that tell us about where ALS research is headed and what might future breakthroughs look like?
Keep those questions in mind.
And until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep diving deep.